Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
So, let's just jump right into it. I was ruminating on the fact that they made the draft mandatory for all ages 18 to 25, 26. And that's going to go into effect at the end of this year, December. So, I think the stage is being set, man. The stage is being set for all chaos to break loose very, very soon. You know what I'm saying? Because just think, people are already against this war as it is. People are seeing how they're not being prioritized yet. A foreign country that really has nothing to do with any of us is being prioritized. You know what I mean? So it's like, how does the average person feel when they really think about it? You know what I mean? So people don't like that. Imagine you got to put your life on the line for somebody or something that doesn't interest you. You know, for oil that you get no parts of, for money that you don't get. Not only that, but you know, they saying now that the soldiers that is over there fighting right now, they're not even like eating like adequately. Like their rations are being like, cause you know how they call it like rations or whatever it is. They military meals. It comes like all like, it's like a TV dinner basically. But now it's like they're running short on that. They don't even got that in abundance. So you can't even feed your own military. That's a bad look.
See, if people was in their right mind, they would just revolt. They'd be like, fuck it, do what you gotta do, I'm not going. But people,
and I see a lot of people doing that. I think a lot of people are gonna wind up doing that. Because if they go for a draft, that's gonna cause a civil war. Like, is it not?
Yeah. 'Cause look at how people are living. So you think they wanna go to fight a war when they can't even afford to provide for themselves? What incentives do they have to do that? The morale here is low. So people, if they're in their right mind, they would just revolt. Like, you know what, do what you gotta do, I'm not going. Kill me, put me in prison, do what you gotta do. I'm not fighting. But people, they're not gonna do that because they love their lives. They're in fear for their lives. They don't want their lives taken from them. But here it is, you don't got nothing anyway.
St. John 12:25. He that loveth his life shall lose it. He that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. So that lines up with what you said. You know, many people, they love their lives. You know what I mean? And who knows? There probably will be some people or a lot of people that'll be willing to like join the draft because they feel like they will be dying an honorary death. And on the other hand, you're gonna have people that are completely against it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you already know which side we would just go along. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to hold on to nothing. We're not trying to like fight for this nation or put our life on the line for this nation. You know what I mean? If anything, we can't wait for the system to fall. Fuck the system. Like we really hate living like this. So stand for something or fall for anything. And like I said, you all gonna have some people that fall victim to the war. They're gonna just wind up, you know, going, but they're not gonna realize that they're not coming back. They ain't gonna make it back. And then just imagine the people that already joined, like prior to like, you know, this situation. They wanted that Hellcat. They wanted that Dodge Challenger. You know what I mean? They wanted the benefits, they wanted the free education. And what was it worth in the end? It don't really matter.
They never thought going to war was an actual possibility. They thought they were just going to rake in the dough and just be chilling, collecting a check. But now you're gonna have to actually fight for your money now. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. It says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened.
Yeah, the grindings shall cease. And what are we looking at now? We're looking at a negative job market. There's more people looking for jobs than there are jobs being created.
It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low.
Yeah, and also all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And you know what I found out? They said that this is like the first time in like 30 years or whatever that there hasn't been a hip hop song in like the top, what is it, 45?
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, top 50 songs. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop is dying. Rap is dying. I've been said this. Not only just rap, you got other genres that have been suffering as well. They're saying, oh, what happened to R&B? Why doesn't R&B hit the same?
No, nothing hits the same. There, you will never have another Luther Vandross, you see? You know, stuff like that.
Which he was a mo.
He was. Marvin Gaye.
You'll never see another Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, like those days are over. What do we have now? Ice Spice, whatever happened to her, she's out of here. Sexy Red, whatever happened to her, she's out of here.
Oh, yeah. Did you see what happened to Ice Spice?
No.
Somebody rolled up on her while she was eating at McDonald's. That's what you get. Like, what vibration or frequency of people eat at McDonald's? People like that want to roll up on you and harass you.
Let alone sit there eating at fucking McDonald's. You take that shit home.
That's bad work. I don't even want to associate myself with people that eat McDonald's and fast food in general. Like, as for me and my niggas, we doing great. We try to at least.
Elevate on a higher level than that at some point.
McDonald's. But yo, yeah, let's go out to McDonald's. Sound crazy.
Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. It says, be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
For reap what you sow, man.
It says, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption.
Yeah, and a lot of people, all they want to do is satiate their flesh. You know what I'm saying? They want to do what makes them feel good, what makes them feel great. Even if it's against, the greater good or against what the higher power requires of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this world, like, everybody's just out for themselves. You know what I'm saying? You may see things one way and another person may see things differently. And your way may be the right way. You know what I'm saying? But some people are so content or adamant about what they want to do, and it's wrong. People like that, you really can't do nothing with. You just avoid them.
If you try pulling them along, they're just gonna drag you down. They're just gonna hold you back. So you just gotta let them go. Again, it says, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
That's the Holy Spirit. That's what we walk after. That's what we hold on to dearly.
It says, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. That's the major key right there. If we faint not, you got to keep this thing all the way till the end. This is Matthew 24. I'll start at the 5th verse. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Yahushua Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Yeah, and they talking about this war right now. It's gonna drag out into the winter. So, prepare yourself. Get ready. Cause we in for the long haul.
Yeah, they said starting April 29th, expect to see a rise in prices of everything. Gas, food, everything.
Yeah, supposedly everything's supposed to go up $1 or whatever, right?
It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows.
The beginning of sorrows. So, we're living in the last days, and it can't be any more evident. It's like, at what point are people gonna realize that the party's over?
Yeah, right.
You got a motherfucker telling you to invest in your 401k, your fidelity, retirement plan. You know what my retirement plan is?
Okay.
My retirement plan is to fold up the system. Right. That's my retirement plan. Because I'm not looking to hold on to this for what? What is it to hold on to? You're gonna buy a house, and you're gonna be fucked up just like everybody else. You're gonna be in bed. You're gonna be living under the roof with your ungrateful wife. Your kids that you have no control over, that you gotta send off to the school system. What else?
Said that debt. That's a heavy burden that's holding everybody back. Like, how can you get ahead when you have debt? They say your income is the greatest asset you have to gaining wealth. So here it is, every month you got all of these bills coming out. You don't have no money to save. How you gonna build wealth? That shit is a trap. It's
like,
a system.
Like you said, they're saying everything's supposed to go up in April this month.
Right.
Your income's not going up, and yet the price of everything else is going up.
It's a losing fight. Ninth verse, it says, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Yep. So, the old saying, like, you gotta have morals and principles to stand on. And, as for us, that's the truth. That's your hour shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we put our life on the line for this. Like, we want to go out for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing worth holding on to or fighting for in this world. Like, I seen the video that you did. You were saying basically just be ready to let go, like have no attachments.
This is Psalms 91 and 5. It says, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. You see, when the heat is really turned up here, when you have civil war and insurrection on Babylon the Great, there's gonna be a day where you're just walking in the street and you're just gonna see the streets littered with bodies. Literally. And then what happens when it's gonna be so many bodies, it's not like anybody's gonna come and bury them and clean them up and get them off the road. So what happens? They're gonna decompose right where they sit. And then you're gonna have, pestilence. That's how you're gonna have famine. I mean, not famine, plagues come. Imagine you just have rats eating on carcasses and stuff like that, just all over the streets. Then the streets are gonna stink of death. But people don't understand that's how real it's about to get here in America.
I mean, this could pop off next year. Like I said, they say this is supposed to go into effect, with the mandatory draft in December. So they're gonna have everything set in place for when they do decide to implement the draft. You know what I'm saying? And then once that goes down, you think people are gonna be having it? You think they're gonna be happy about that? I don't think so. And then combine that with like the cost of living going up. Here it is, you could barely get by. You could barely afford your light bill because, the price of oil is going up because of this war. So, you're barely getting by, you're not living too good. and then they want to tell you to go off and fight for your life.
Right. Really, like really, if you really even fight this war, if you don't push back and willing to face whatever comes with it, you're just a jackass. You're an asshole. You deserve death. This is John chapter 10, verse 9. It says, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out, and find pasture.
Yeah, so Yahweh Shai is that door to salvation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't believe in the Lord, you don't call on the names, then you're not going to make it. It's as simple as that.
It says the 10th verse, it says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly.
Yeah, and that thief, really, is the so-called Caucasian man. You know what I'm saying? And even going back into the times when Yahweh Shai was walking the earth, you know, they was living under the rulership of the Romans. You know what I'm saying? And what was the Roman Empire? It was compiled of many different provinces, right? And fast forward to today, it's the same thing with America. America is Rome all over again. You got different states, you have different territories. They got military bases scattered throughout the whole world. So at some point, you know, this empire is gonna fall. The average lifespan of an empire is what? 250 years? And then the anniversary for America is coming up, I think this year, right?
I think it is.
Yeah, and I remember Trump was saying that he was gonna have a celebration. So we'll see.
It's like John 10 and 11. It says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep and fleeth.
Yeah, hireling. You know, that's these people that just do what they do for money. They're not even doing it for the love, or you know, or for just, you know, genuine energy. People are just faking it, doing it for, you know, their own gain, for money. So it's like, you know, us, we doing this for free. It's like anybody paying us to come out here. You know what I'm saying? And can't nobody pay us to stop.
Even with Esau in the draft, you think he's out here going to send you to the draft to fight for America for what? The betterment of America? No, it's just about the money. That's it. He doesn't care about you or your well-being. Here it is. You don't make it. You're going, yeah, it's going to die over there. You're going to send your family a crisply folded flag. And that's all they're going to get.
Oh, and he's going to get a medal of honor.
That's it. And he died in dishonor.
He's going to get a purple heart when he gets his arm blown off.
For what?
He's going to send him back home with missing limbs. If he even makes it back, which he won't, more than likely. Because you know what the prophecy says in Joel about they're going to go down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. So
When out there to fight a war you had no business fighting, and all you get is a flag for it. You know, the speech. It says, and the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep. The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling and careth not for the sheep. That's
So the sheep is the ones that are lost, the ones that are looking for the truth.
This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. It says, for brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. For all the laws is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness. 16th verse was the point. I'll read it again. It says, This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Because if you are in the Spirit, if the Lord put the Spirit on you, you will know better to go fight a war for this country. The only reason anybody would go do it is because they're in the flesh. They're thinking about what they may gain from it or what they might lose. But us, we don't have anything to gain and we don't have anything to lose. Because we understand, we just putting our faith in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So it is, you just got to do what you got to do to us. If the Lord be with us, we might evade it, or you might get your head chopped off. But either way, it's still better than going to fight a war for this place. Here it is, the only reason you're here and your people are here is because they was brought here through slave ships to serve out a punishment. So now you're going to go fight a war that you have no business fighting? For what? They didn't even make right on that. Exactly. This is Genesis chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Ye hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
And that fruit represents knowledge and philosophies.
It's not a pomegranate. And that serpent, it's not talking about a snake. That's just talking about it means it's the characteristics of a snake.
The characteristics of a snake, which can come in the form of a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you like come across people and they, like, you know, they come off as, you know, passive or submissive or friendly, but then they turn around and bite you as soon as you let your guard down.
Like, oh, this nigga think he's slick.
Yeah. Or he's trying to pull a fast one.
Right. You know, what's that saying in the world? You know, keep the grass cut so you can see the snakes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's talking about people that's, you know, don't have your best interest. They just plotting on you, waiting for their chance to strike. So you keep the grass low so you can see them coming.
Or they have secret animosity against you. You don't even know. Right. They play nice.
Hidden agendas.
But when your day of trouble comes, or when you need them the most, they just, you know, turn their back on you or they strike you.
Yeah.
When you're in a vulnerable place.
But you get comfortable. Again, third verse, it says, But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. For God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
God's knowing good and evil, and that's true. Then we gave our hearts to madness.
Right.
That's basically what we did. You know what I'm saying? Because before we never sinned, we was righteous, we was perfect.
We didn't know evil.
Yep.
It didn't exist.
But once Eve, you know, bit the apple, ate the forbidden fruit, you know, that was the start of the end for us.
It says, And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Yeah, and that's where Adam went wrong. He shouldn't followed after his woman.
Simple.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was doing.
Simple.
Because, you know, a man is supposed to set the tone in a relationship anyway. He's supposed to be the leader. And a woman's supposed to be the follower. And that's what we get. Like, look at how relationship dynamics are today. Like, it's very hard to get a woman to submit to you. On top of that, it's just a used up box that you're dealing with anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we lost it all once, you know, that situation went down in the garden with Adam and Eve and the serpent. But you know, we're gonna get our glory back. We're gonna get our joy back in the kingdom. And that's when we're gonna be able to look back, reflect on how things were, and then we're gonna have so much more of an appreciation for righteousness in the kingdom.
Right.
Like you're gonna be in the kingdom reminiscing. You're gonna be remembering them days where you was fucked up. You're gonna be remembering them days where you was struggling and you managed to push through that day where you was on the job. The job had you ready to jump off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna remember all that pain and hurt and misery that you had to endure. Because that's really what this life is really about right now. It's about enduring. It's about learning how to suffer. It's like as for us, as for Jake, we got this shit mastered. We got this shit down. Because ain't nobody on this planet Earth has had it as bad as the Israelites. We went from captivity to captivity. We've been in this captivity for over 400 years and we still strong. They still can't break us.
Right.
So just imagine when we're refined, when we're perfected. Like we're gonna be shining throughout the earth. The whole universe, really. And all the other nations, they're gonna be looking up to us. They're gonna be like, yo, this is the glorious people. This is the people of God. And they're gonna have no choice but to bow down. It's just not gonna be any denying that in that day.
This is Luke chapter 13, verse, start at 21. It says, "It is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. And he went through the cities and villages, teaching and journeying toward Jerusalem. Then said one unto him, Lord, are there few that be saved? And he said unto them, Strive to enter in at the strait gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in, and shall not be able. When once the master of the house is risen up, and hath shut to the door, and ye begin to stand without, and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And he shall answer and say unto you, I know you not whence ye are. Then shall ye begin to say, We have eaten and drunken in thy presence, and thou hast taught in our streets. But he shall say, I tell you, I know you not whence ye are. Depart from me, depart from me, all ye workers of iniquity." That's terrible. The Lord, you go to the Lord, and he's like, "Who are you? You turn your punk ass around. You know, you're not one of mine." That's gonna be a hard pill to swallow in that day. You may as well just kill yourself. Yeah, it's Psalms 91:1. Very fast. It says, "He that dwelleth in the Psalm 91:1, it says, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord Yahweh, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. You see, coming unto this knowledge is really our protection when all hell breaks loose. Because anybody else, like, if you're not occupied in this word, you're really just fuel for the fire. You're not going to make it. There's no chance of you making it. But at least when you come into this faith and you really try and do your best to serve the Lord, at least you have a chance. It's not guaranteed, but you have a chance. And I'll take my chances with the Lord rather than the world 10 times out of 10. 5th verse. It says, Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
The reward of the wicked, which is destruction.
It says, Because thou hast made the Lord Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
Yeah, so the Most High, he has that protection. He has his elect. Ultimately, you may have to get your head chopped off before you even see it. And that could be the test. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's destiny is different.
Right. Honestly, I be meditating on it, like, yo, even getting your head cut off is a form of mercy. Because now you through. You don't got to worry about going through Jacob's trouble, you know? You don't got to worry about going through that.
That is a part of Jacob's trouble. When you get your head chopped off.
I mean, like, yeah, true. But I mean to say is, like, you don't have to worry about where your next meal might come from. You know, you might not have to worry about being chased down by troops and all of that, trying to evade death and all of that.
So more or less, that's what's going to happen to most brothers and sisters that's in this world. They're going to be put to death. Because let's be real, niggas don't got primitive skills. You got to live in the wilderness. Right. It's either death or a jail cell. You ain't taking shit. I already got my mind prepared for that.
Psalms 91:11 says, For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder. The young lion and the dragon shall not trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. It says, See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
Yeah, so you have to take into account, like, the days, the time period, and the era that we're living in. Like, this is a cold world that we live in. So, with that being the case, you got to prepare your mind for that. You know, you gotta condition yourself for that. You gotta be even colder. You gotta be ready to just forsake this shit.
Right.
Forget everything. Let it go.
Ultimately, it's not even worth hanging on to. Everything we have here is defiled. Nothing is pure here.
Ain't nothing sacred.
This is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. says, enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. You see, few that be there find it. That's talking about the elect. Because look at this world. Like, look at we be out here every weekend. And does anybody stop and inquire? Have you ever seen anybody come repeatedly week after week to come hear us and what we have to say, and maybe wanting to join us on this side of the camera? No, because it's not for everybody. It's only for a small few. And it's not even just us, even the brothers that you watch through all over the U.S. How many times do you see new faces? Not often.
There's not many of us. It's about a month.
Right. 15th verse, it says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves.
There are all false prophets out there.
It says, ye shall know them by their fruits.
Yeah. And in other words, you should know people by their results. Like, what do they have to show for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you judge people by their ways and their actions, not by what they say. Even though you can't judge somebody by what they say, you know, if it's bad. They say, the scripture said that death is in the power of the tongue. So if somebody's speaking evil, then more than likely they're performing evil. You know what I'm saying? And on the opposite, you got people that are, you know, they'll say things that sound good, but behind closed doors, they're performing evil. They're doing bad. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you really gotta have that discernment. Like, if anybody like ever wants to get down with the movement, or like, you know, get down with your team, then you really just can't like let them in like right away. You gotta like try people, try their heart. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta try their spirit. You gotta see if they're actually sincere. Or do they have an agenda? Then it says, ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistle? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. So, this is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. It says, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. It says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. But the Lord, he would prefer, of course, that all of us would get right and under one accord to serve him. But that's just not going to happen on this side. So the 2/3 are going to have to be exterminated and come back in the new world.
Yeah, the only time when that's gonna happen, when we're all on the same page, is in the kingdom, when we're under the covenant.
Look at this demon. What is he doing? Like, why are you cutting dandelions for? Like, why are you fucking with me? See, they cutting the trees and shit.
The same reason why they cut that tree.
Cutting trees down
They
and
did
shit.
that like last year though. That tree was providing good shade. You know what I mean? But I guess they don't want people hanging out under the tree.
Demon. Second Peter 3:10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?"
So how are you supposed to carry yourself? How are you supposed to conduct yourself knowing what the future holds for America? You know what I'm saying? Like, really, you're supposed to be trying to get right. You're supposed to be repentant.
It says, "Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." And that's talking about, the nuclear missiles pelting America, and the chariots sending its laser beams, its concentrated fire to destroy America. And see, that sounds too far out for a nigga that's just in the world and carnal. Like, that sounds like a fantasy. Like,
Sounds like a sci-fi movie. But yet, there's been so many sightings of UFOs. You're supposed to just forget about that. You're supposed to sweep it under the rug. You should really wonder what that's about. The truth is, that's the angels of the Lord, the chariots of the Lord. The time is going to come when they're going to come through and sweep this whole earth. Really, America. Sweep over America. And Howard Shai, scriptures speak about how the Lord, he's going to come back on a cloud. So, they can't be talking about a literal cloud. That's poetic for a UFO. But people they don't think outside the box. Like, they can't put two and two together.
I'll wrap it up with this one. This is Matthew 24:12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world, for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Yeah, so this is the truth. Like, this is the gospel. You know, if Christianity was the truth, then the world would have been ended a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
And you know it's Christianity ain't it. You know this is it because you have men that are all under one accord teaching the exact same thing all throughout the world, all through, especially in the United States. Babylon the Great, all over the U.S. teach the exact same thing. You ask one man in New York a question about the scriptures, he's going to give you the same answer as the man in Texas. Christians can't even do that.
Yeah, you got different denominations.
Right.
Different beliefs.
And why is that? Because this is not of man. This is of the Lord. It takes the Spirit to come out here and do this. You can only understand this knowledge if you was blessed and had the mercy of receiving the Holy Spirit. This is like nothing else that's in the world. That's it on that.
With that, we're going to wrap it up. Shalom until next time.
Shalom.